Thank you for being on with us. When you submitted Kenny Powers, that couldn't have been met with applause, right? The executives had to fight you on this oaf being kind of not capable of carrying a TV show, right? Or am I wrong?
Well, you know what? We were pretty lucky because we went in to pitch that show with Will Ferrell and Adam McKay the Monday after Talladega Nights had premiered and was number one at the box office. So we went into every network, even your main networks, your regular television networks, and everybody made an offer except for Comedy Central. I think we were too lowbrow for Comedy Central, but everybody else wanted a piece.
And
then I think they didn't realize what they bought, because then it's like we were off doing our thing, and we obviously went with HBO, and then it was like a few weeks from wrapping up the shoot, I think they first started watching what we were shooting down there. And it was like, wait a second, what if we let these guys go off and do?
No, tell me about that. That's the part I'm curious about. You guys had something really dangerous and edgy there. They win the bidding war, and now you're doing it. And it's received how? There's no way those first few shows they thought that character was going to play, is there?
No way. They didn't at all. You know, there was a shakeup with the leadership at HBO at that point, too. So who had bought our show was no longer there by the time it was time for our show to air. So I think there was just a disconnect, and I think we had our, like, very powerful big brothers, McKay and Farrell, in there kind of keeping everybody off our backs long enough. But then I think once they saw it, they were like, this guy is a total jerk. We need to have ways to sympathize with him. And that was just our whole fight, was that, like, look, that will come in time. This show will be boring if we show that this guy is a heart of gold from episode one. Like, this needs to be, you have to evolve. Your opinion of Kenny has to evolve over time. And that's what we wanted to kind of go up against. And they listened to that and then still didn't really believe that would happen. And so they basically just told us that if we wanted to, if we weren't going to listen to their notes and make him more likable, that they wouldn't really go out of their way to market the show, and it would kind of just come out. And we were like, well, you know, I've never really seen ads for HBO, like billboards for HBO shows in Virginia, where I'm from. It's like, who cares if there's not billboards in New York or LA? It's on HBO. People will still find it. So we stuck to our guns, and then we were lucky that it came out and people liked it. And then, Casey Bloys, who was our executive at the time, who was a big supporter of the show, and he was just getting his start then. He now runs HBO. So it's been a beautiful partnership with him.
Danny, can you just tell me what was happening in your life? Where were you emotionally and everywhere else when you were working in Burbank at the Crocodile Cafe?
I was, you've done your research. I was a young man who had just moved to Los Angeles from film school, expecting the town to welcome me with open arms, and instead I got a job waiting tables and bussing tables at the Crocodile Cafe in Burbank. It was a wonderful time of my life.
How did it end?
With my girlfriend dumping me at the time and me crying in my boss's arms, and then leaving the restaurant and never returning.
You had the last laugh, though, huh?
You did kind of get the last laugh on the Crocodile Cafe. Where did you think your life was? Like, what was the big break?
I came out to Los Angeles not even to act. I came out there just to really write, and I was hoping to direct. And so I just wrote all the time. And, the idea that an acting career is what sort of launched things for me was like nothing I was trying to do. I wasn't going out auditioning for things. I never had a headshot. I never was imagining that was like a real avenue of a career for me. I just, went to film school in North Carolina, so I would act in movies with my buddies, and, we would just do it because we didn't know actors. And, Jody Hill, who I've created Eastbound with and Vice Principals with, he wanted to make this independent film in North Carolina, and he asked me to be in it. And, I don't know why he thought I would be capable of doing it, but that kind of launched us. So that was the Foot Fist Way, and that's how we met Will and Adam.
How much of that show was ad-libbed? Because I just imagine the Ashley Schaefer stuff being ad-libbed.
Yeah, we worked really, really hard on the scripts. We worked really hard on them just to get the story right and get the characters right, and even just to make sure that we have the right people in the right scene talking about the right stuff to allow the improv to happen. So we'll usually get what we wrote, and then we'll just open it up and let people just riff. And yeah, I mean, stuff like that. You know, you have Will Ferrell on the set or Craig Robinson, and you know, you'll write stuff that you can't wait to hear them say, but then instantly, as soon as they open their mouths, they just can blow away anything that a room of writers would have come up with, you know, in the moment. And it's just fun. That's like one of the things that's so much fun about working on comedies is coming to work and not knowing where the laughs are going to come from that day.
Did I read correctly that Kanye West flew to your house to pitch a project to you?
That is true, yes.
All right, tell us that story, man.
You know, I mean, it's pretty basic. He just, you know, he just reached out because he was a fan of Eastbound and Vice Principals, and you know, he was like trying to figure out an angle on if he wanted to do some sort of like bio story of himself, and he liked the idea of me playing him in this early idea for it. So
that is awesome. That is awesome. Please tell me you said yes to whatever he wants to do with that.
I would do whatever he would want to do with it. He's a busy man, and I'm not sure if he'll have time for it, but I would do it in a heartbeat. And it was just awesome to be able to meet Kanye and hang out with him. I mean, he's such a prolific artist and just so unique. It was awesome.
But how does he pitch the idea? First of all, I want to hear what that day was like, but also how is he pitching you the idea of, I want you to play me because you're physically and in every way not me?
I think he was responding to the spirit of the characters that I play, that there might be some similarity there to like energy that he has. And so I think it was more of like, you know, he's a smart dude. So I think it had to do with more of like an energy that he thought I might be capable of bringing to things.
He's also an unusual dude. So what do you guys, when you're hanging out, are you talking about the Kardashian life, or are you talking about art?
Man, he was very kind, very easy to get along with. I mean, it was just, honestly, it was such a fun afternoon, and it was so normal that it was almost surreal, you know, that it was like, oh, this is crazy. That this is just hanging out with Kanye and just talking to him about whatever. And we're watching my son play Fortnite. It was, it was totally normal, and I liked him. When he left, I missed him. I was like, I wish Kanye would come over every day.
How did you, Bill Murray it's famously hard to get him to do stuff. He's got like a 1-800 number. You have to leave a message for him. I don't know if he's got an agent or not. How did it come to be that you secured Bill Murray in Vice Principals?
You know, it was luck, really. You know, I met him on the set of this movie Aloha that we shot in Hawaii, and I've been a lifelong fan of his, and so I was just geeked out to meet him and get to know him. And, and then he asked me to be in this other movie he did, Rock the Casbah, so I just got to know him a little bit more. And then, he actually lives down in Charleston where we shot Vice Principals. So, once we got down here to shoot the show, we just, when we had to find who could be the principal, we're like, well, I know one actor who lives here. And so we just tried to get a hold of him and convince him to do it.
More importantly, how did you secure Nick Nolte to go snorkeling?
It's 'cause we had a lot of downtime on Tropic Thunder.
Angry Birds Movie 2 is in theaters next Tuesday. He's the voice of Bomb. So how does this work? Do you end up in a room with Bill Hader and Dinklage, or are you just in a lonely booth somewhere doing the voice of a character working on your own?
I end up in it's the lonely version of it. Yes, I wish I could be in a booth with Gad and Bill Hader. But, no, you do these things kind of independently, which is kind of exciting in its own way because you're doing your part, and then when you see the movie, it is truly a brand-new experience because you have no idea what is going to happen in the rest of the film. And so it is fun to kind of watch that and see what you've done. And I have 2 kids. I have a 7-year-old son and a 4-year-old daughter. And so when you do these kind of movies, you get like swag. They make like, stuffed animals of your characters, and that stuff goes over huge in my house. So like those are the main decisions of what goes into taking one of these lonely voice acting jobs.
Well, Danny,
how much swag you can get your kids.
I mean, but Danny, if I'd come up to you at the Crocodile Cafe and said, hey, wait till you see the Angry Birds money for just doing a voice, wait until you see the money you're going to make for these Angry Birds checks have to be crazy.
Right, but he can also pay for those things for his kids. I mean, had he played by you, I'm proud of you.
He's just getting them for free. It does feel like you could just go buy one.
That. I could have just bought them this stuff.
Danny, thank you for being on with us. We appreciate it. Big fan of your work. Thank you, sir.
Thanks for having me on. I hope you enjoy the film. Talk to you guys. Bye-bye.
All right, Dan.